Okay, so this is a chord tones exercise designed to help you to improvise more freely and just better, and to enjoy yourself more, and to have to think less when you're improvising over a tune that you already know. And just to explain a bit about the thinking behind this exercise, the idea of improvising, and especially jazz improvising, is that we've kind of, if we were El Organa, we'd be able to just be in some kind of Zen state and not thinking about anything, and just receiving these messages from the ethereal craziness out there or whatever. But that's probably not going to happen for most of us, So we're just trying to get better and better at just knowing these songs really well, just so we can just sort of relax and play around without having to think too hard. But we have to be thinking on a kind of subconscious level. And that's true even, when Organa was playing all those incredible improvisations over the tune Misty, for example. Well, he wrote the tune and he knew it absolutely backwards. He knew it inside out, and that's why he could do anything that he wants with it, apart from being a genius. Obviously, that comes in handy. So there are loads of approaches, as most of you probably know, to improvisation. We can think about chords and scales. A lot of people take that kind of approach of thinking about connecting certain scales to certain chords, and there's a modal approach. We can think about all these different kinds of concepts, ways of approaching improvisation, but I think most people will probably agree with me that just knowing the notes of the basic chords of something that you're trying to improvise over makes it easier. And you can know those notes on a deeper level. You can know the chords to a jazz standard, for example, well enough to be able to tell somebody what they are, or to be able to write them down, or even to be able to play a version of the tune, but you can know them better and better and better. And this is one thing that I've found really helps, and I absolutely promise it will help. So without further ado, we're going to do this exercise now over the first 8 bars of Fly Me to the Moon. So just to give you some musical context, that is this much music. So okay, so we're going to go that far, and this is how it works. We play root position chords with the left hand, trying to keep them basically below middle C. It doesn't matter if you venture around here. Sometimes, some of these chords don't sound great here, but they don't sound great here, so you might find that you're kind of, playing about here. It's all right, but try and keep basically below middle C. So the left hand's playing root position chords. I appreciate, by the way, the chords that I play to Fly Me to the Moon might not be the same as the chords everybody plays to Fly Me to the Moon. There are loads of different versions on different performances that people played, and you might have learned them by ear, which is obviously the best way to learn them. And if they work and sound good to you, that's fine. Practice those chords if you're doing Fly Me to the Moon, or you might just have a slightly different version from me because you've learnt it from a different real book or fake book or iReal Pro or whatever. But basically, these are the chords that I play to Fly Me to the Moon for the first 8 bars, so I'm just going to play them. So it's a bar of A minor 7, bar of D minor 7, bar of G7, half a bar of C major 7, half a bar of C7, C dominant 7 to give it its full name, a bar of F major 7, which is one of those ones that doesn't sound great here, but it sounds a bit too high here, so whatever. Let's play it here. So that bar of F major 7, bar of D minor 7. Then we've got half a bar of B minor 7 flat 5, half a bar of E7, half a bar of A minor 7, and half a bar of A7. And as we're playing those chords, we want to be thinking about whole chunks of information, little progressions, not just thinking about remembering just the next chord as an isolated event, like it just happens to be G7 next. You need to be consciously thinking about how that harmony is working. So in this case, we start on chord 6 of C major, the key that this song's in. I probably should have mentioned that we're playing in C major. So we're starting on chord 6, and then there's a big old 2-5-1, our old mate 2-5-1 in C major, and then there's there's a C dominant chord, which of course is the 5 chord of F major 7. So we're going to go to F major 7. It's the next chord, and that goes 1/6, which is a very familiar move, isn't it? But we could think of it as being 1/6 in F major, or we could just think, well, really, we're in C major, aren't we? So let's just say this C7 we played was just a little fancy chord, and now we're just going to chord 4 of C major, and then chord 6. And now we're going to get to A minor 7, so we're playing a 2/5 to get us there. B minor 7 flat 5, as most of you probably already know. Minor 2/5-1s tend to have a flat 5 on the 2 chord. So here's the 5, E7, and we go to A minor 7. And then finally there's another 5 chord, there's the A7. So we want to be thinking about those chunks of information. It's like chord 6, then a little 2/5-1 C, and a little 5 to get us to F major 7, which is chord 4. Chord 6, and a 2/5-1 and an A minor, and then an A dominant. So that's how we're thinking, even though we're only, kind of thinking about it subconsciously. So the exercise works like this: we play swing 8th notes with the right hand, and we're not going to worry about time. This does not have to be dan da 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 dan. No particular tempo at all. But you want to play it with a swing feel in your head. You know, you want to be hearing those swing notes like da 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 da. I can't click in time now. Da 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 da. You know, you'll be thinking that way rather than dan 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 dan. Because if it is jazz improvisation, you know, obviously in jazz you can play whatever you want, nothing's wrong or incorrect in jazz, but most of the time the feel that we want is those swing 8th notes. So we're going to think that way, but it doesn't have to be in time. All that you've got to do is concentrate hard enough that you know you're playing the right note, and that you're playing it, and that you're playing the first note of the bar at the same time that you play that chord in the left hand. So this is how we do the exercise. Here are the chord tones of A minor 7, which we're going to play in the left hand. Obviously they exist all over the piano, so we can choose a starting point. So let's randomly choose this E here, and now we can decide whether to ascend or descend. Let's ascend. Let's start by ascending. So 8th notes, swing 8th notes, A minor 7 for a bar, ascending. And now I'm on the top note of the piano. My piano goes up to top C. So now I'm going to go to the next chord, which is D minor 7, and obviously I've got to start descending. Now the next available chord tone that is in the chord D minor 7 is this A, the 5th. So I'm going to play that as my first note and carry on with 4 notes. So, sorry, 8 notes as a bar of D minor 7. Okay, so I'll just do those first 2 bars again. So starting on E, playing A minor 7, ascending until we run out of notes. And now I'm going to D minor 7, here's my next available chord tone. And then we go to G7, here's the next available chord tone of G7. Play at the same time, beat 1. Don't have to be in time at all, so long as I'm thinking about those swing notes and not straight notes. Okay, now we're going to C major 7 for half a bar. Sorry, I just messed up my left hand there, but that was on beat 1. So we've got to start ascending now because we've run out of room again. And now we've got half a bar of C dominant 7. So in that instance, the left hand plays C major 7 on beat 1 and C7 on beat 3. 4 notes of each. Now we go to F major 7. The next available chord tone from that chord is C. It's a whole bar. you'll notice when you've got a whole bar and you don't have to change direction, the first 4 notes and the second 4 notes will be the same. So in that case we played. So the next 4 notes logically will be the same and obviously up. Okay, now we're on to D minor 7 again. First available chord tone for D minor 7 is C, but I've got to start coming straight down because I've run out of notes. Now I've got half a bar of B minor 7 flat 5. Here's the next available chord tone. Half a bar of E dominant 7. Okay, I just borrowed that note from my left hand, you know, it doesn't matter. And now we're going to A minor 7. I can come to this A here. If I feel like it, I can go to this A. It doesn't matter, just turn around somewhere around middle C. And half a bar of A7. Okay, now like I said, you don't have to worry about playing this in time. It really doesn't matter. Don't set yourself that goal. All you're going to think about is playing the correct note. And sometimes, you know, it is easy to make mistakes at first, especially, you know, like say I start here on, let's say I'm going to start this time on the G, the first chord A minor 7, and I play, I'll just go until I see somewhere where somebody might make a mistake. So like, now here, oh yeah, somebody, you know, it's kind of easy to sort of think, right, G7, where's the next one? There it is, you know, and to miss one. If you're just thinking a bit too, you know, if you're trying to do it too quickly because you're thinking I need to play dan da dan da dan da dan da dan da dan, you know, and you're putting this time restriction on yourself, you make the exercise more difficult, and it's better just not to worry about that. And also, don't worry about fingering as well, because this is technically pretty difficult to do and to do smoothly and to find the right fingering all the time. It's not that straightforward. So don't worry about that, because that's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get to know these notes better. That's all it is. But I will give you one tip on the fingering. When you're ascending, you know, I'll just do some sort of bad fingering. So I'll try and get this really badly wrong. So, you know, so there, I played the first 4 chord tones. I've run out of notes. So I go here with my little finger. Well, that's a bad move, because you've just straight away run out of notes, you know. Even if I went to my 4th finger there, I've only got 2 and I'm going to need more fingers. So most of the time when you run out of fingers, just keep it simple and just use your thumb, because that gives you a whole hand to use before you're going to run out again. And likewise descending, you know, you can do turns, but try not to find yourself using just these 2 fingers, because that's a really bad thing to practice. Just as a side note, you know, we should always be thinking about this. The fingers 1, 2 and 3 on the piano are, well, in human beings, fingers 1, 2, 3 are loads stronger than fingers 4 and 5. Because fingers 4 and 5 are really little things, and they've got to share one piece of string to operate them. So, you know, it's as well to practice using those fingers, because nature will make you want to play like this. You know, and sometimes if you see self-taught piano players, you know, not that there's anything wrong with teaching yourself either, because some people are completely self-taught and have amazing technique. But, you know, it is a mistake a lot of people tend to make and limit themselves, is to really just use these 3 fingers. That's a side note, but yeah, just basically when you're ascending, try and use your thumb a lot, because it gives you more notes. When you're descending, try and use your little finger as well a lot, because it gives you more notes. Yeah, and that's it really, it works. I'm just going to try, I said don't worry about time, but I'm just going to try and play it in time, just so you can hear how this exercise gets these chords into your brain. Because if I just play the exercise, I think you can hear the shape and the harmony of Fly Me to the Moon. So here we go. So I nearly messed it up there. Okay, and obviously don't only ever practice practice this on the first 8 bars of Fly Me to the Moon. Practice it through the entire tune if that's the tune that you're working on. Try and loop it, you know, just try and keep going around the sequence until you get fed up and go and have a cup of tea or a glass of wine, or go to Bangkok for a few weeks or something, or whatever, you know, is going to sort of take your mind off this. But I promise it will help. It will definitely help if you practice this exercise. And good luck. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments, or to give me any feedback if there's things that you think are rubbish or good about this lesson. Okay, cheers.